The dark underworld of illegal abortions. Who are the so-called doctors behind this thriving trade, and why they're allowed to get away with it? This is Checkpoint, and I'm eNCA Mabuse. Illegal abortionists are setting up shop in cities all over South Africa, peddling chemical abortions to desperate women way over the legal termination limit.
Margaret was in an abusive relationship when she found out she was pregnant. She says her boyfriend refused to wear protection.
It was very abusive. At times I would submit myself to him and sleep with him even if I didn't want to, because of it was my way of trying to make things right. So when I found that out, when I found out that I was pregnant, I had actually gone to the court for a protection order.
She thought about having an abortion and went to her local hospital. But instead of finding help, she says she was faced with unsympathetic nursing staff.
Firstly, they wanted proof of residence, and then secondly, they told me that I have to make an appointment and stuff, of which what I'm trying to say is that they give you time, more delays and everything. They take their own time.
She tried to reconcile with her partner, but the alleged abuse continued. One night, he locked her out of the house. She decided he was not a man with whom she could bring up a child.
So at this point, I haven't got no choice but to abort.
By this stage, Margaret was 14 weeks pregnant and over the legal termination limit. According to the law, abortion up to 12 weeks is legal. After that, it can only be in consultation with a medical practitioner, and only if the mother or child is at risk, or if the pregnancy is a result of rape or incest. Desperate, Margaret headed to the back streets. She saw posters advertising so-called safe abortions plastered on lampposts all over Durban CBD.
I called the guy. He told me it was 800 rands. So the money I could gather was 500 rands, but still I went there.
Margaret was about to fall victim to a dangerous underground abortion alternative peddled by bogus street doctors, seemingly out to make fast cash. According to the American Pew Research Center, more than half the abortions done in South Africa are backstreet. Besides posters, these unscrupulous street doctors also advertise in the classifieds and on the internet. They sell to pregnant women full-term labor-inducing drugs to abort unborn babies. These services are offered any time between 0 to 8 months. We asked several women to pretend to be pregnant and help us investigate 8 illegal clinics.
I just wanted to find out how your clinic works. Do you sell the pills?
Yeah.
Sorry, will the pills get rid of the baby?
Yes.
How long will it take for me to abort the baby?
Just 20 minutes.
Is it painful?
No.
The Open Door Crisis Centre in Pinetown in KZN specialises in trauma counselling.
There's so many lies that are being told about it, and you see all these stickers that are saying painless abortion, free abortion. There's no such thing as a painless abortion.
As Margaret found out, she was 5.5 months pregnant when she went to an illegal abortionist. First, the so-called doctor told her to put 2 pills under her tongue.
It made me open my legs and everything, and then I think it was 2 pills, if I remember correctly, that he just put on me, and then he forced those pills back inside my, I don't know what to call this thing, but he just got them on my vagina and everything.
He then told her to go home.
I was shaking as if I've got this kind of flu that I couldn't explain, but my whole body was like shrinking. I couldn't like do anything. I was like, I don't know. I can't explain that pain I felt like from my toe to head. whilst in a taxi, and I just couldn't wait to get into bed.
Flora Mogaswa from family planning clinic Mari Stopes says expecting a woman to go through an abortion without proper medical care can be fatal.
They can come up with serious complications, which might be infections. Some women might bleed to death. Some can suffer injuries on their genitals, depending on what is it that they have used to try and terminate the pregnancy. So severe infections, severe hemorrhage, and also injuries to the reproductive structures.
Realizing she was in trouble, Margaret went to a friend's house. But when the bleeding wouldn't stop, she rushed to the nearest clinic. She was in labor, and by the time she got to the clinic, the baby was halfway out.
I had just thought maybe it was going to be a lot of blood and everything, and then it wouldn't be like a baby and stuff, but then unfortunately it was just a baby. Even though tiny it was, but it was a baby.
The baby was dead, but because Margaret had lost so much blood, clinic staff wouldn't remove the fetus. Instead, they called for an ambulance to take her to a proper hospital. It took another 6 hours before the baby and the placenta were finally removed.
At around 10, after having been sitting there, I asked them if I could get into bed, because that sitting like that was the most painful thing ever, even though it was not painful physically, but for the mere fact that I knew what I was sitting on.
Psychologically, we know that depression can set in. If depression is not handled, we're faced with suicide ideology.
I resent men. I resent life as a whole. I'm keeping strong. I'm holding my head high. I keep smiling, and nobody knows the pain.
Margaret was lucky she aborted in a proper hospital. Some Burgers clinics offer to abort the baby in their so-called surgeries for an extra fee. It's called cleaning. They crush the fetus and pull it out.
And they could use anything from a knitting needle to a coat hanger.
A place known as the Abortion Clinic offered us a package deal, pills and cleaning for 1,800 rand.
But I'm 6 months already.
So you have a lot of time going to the toilet back and forth, so you're coming out in small segments.
Okay. So basically I'm getting rid of it in the toilet.
Yeah, in like small pieces like that, yeah.
Gruesome it may be, but this is what many young women are going through. Our undercover caller told another Burgers clinic called Ali that she was 7 months pregnant.
What do I do about the baby?
Oh, it's up to you. I don't know where you put it. Maybe you throw it, maybe you bury it, maybe it's up to you. I don't know.
SMA Clinic said she could leave the dead baby with them.
Manje inkinga ke njengoba ngina 7 months ngoba sekuyingane ukuthi enengenze njani ngishiya lapho.
Flora says, according to the law, it's illegal to dispose of the body of a newborn child with intent to conceal the fact of its birth.
Maybe it was to use whatever is there for Mutu or whatever, but basically it doesn't make any sense for women to be carrying fetuses around. If that poor woman is caught carrying such a waste in a plastic bag, she will definitely be prosecuted.
And at the end of the day, when the fetus come, then the fetus will be dumped in the dustbin.
According to the police, there's been an increase in the number of dead babies and fetuses found in bins in downtown Durban. Hawk spokesman Paul Ramaloko says they've battled to close down these illegal clinics.
Sometimes even when you call these numbers, which are put on the advert, if they suspect that they are being traced, they would not even tell you their locations, because on these adverts you only find addresses and just one name, Dr. So-and-so, which may not be the real name.
Joe Maila from the National Department of Health says they too struggle to crack down on dodgy operators.
We try to trap them, try to make sure that we follow them, but because it's a secretive trade, they don't really keep one address. Even if you know that you're going to go to a particular place, you find a nice salon, and then at the back, that's where they do all these things. But tomorrow, they're not there anymore. So we need to make sure that all of us becomes as vigilant as we can.
Coming up after the break, authorities say they can't find these elusive, illegal practitioners, but we managed to track down 2 of them.
There goes Dr. Kazi. We asked him, are you a real doctor, Dr. Crosby? Are you a real doctor? Do you have a license to dispense these pills?
The police and the health department say tracing illegal abortion clinics is challenging, but it didn't take us long to find them, particularly since they advertise openly on street corners and in the classifieds.
Dr. Kasi advertises as Anne's Abortions and operates from this office block in Durban's city centre. He also offers cleaning. Our undercover operative went to see him. He gave her 6 labour-inducing tablets to put under her tongue and internally. Then he said she should come back for cleaning once the baby had been aborted.
According to the Act, a legal abortion should take place in an accredited facility. It should be conducted by a competent registered medical practitioner, midwife, or professional nurse. Anybody who does not meet this criteria is actually conducting an illegal abortion.
Legally, any person who disposes of the body of a child that died before, during, or after birth is guilty of an offence. Police say these illegal doctors can even face murder charges.
In cases where their victim managed to survive, they can be accountable for attempted murder and the contravention of the Health Act. Our focus is not only to take away the these illegal doctors from the streets, but to take away their access to the medicines. Because these scheduled medicines, which they have access to, which are mostly used, the tablets and whatever medication can be, the Department of Health is the custodian of these medications.
The health department says it's not just medication they have to deal with.
I don't think they're just using pills. They're using all sorts of things. That is why when people come to hospitals, it is just bad.
Can we knock on the door? Thank you.
Checkpoint went to confront Dr. Kasi, but he locked the door and hid in his office.
Dr. Kazi, please, this is your right to reply. We've got you on camera, selling these illegal pills to women and to a gentleman who's a witness here. You have a chance now to set the record straight and tell us if you're a real doctor and that you have permission to hand out these scheduled drugs to these young women.
But still he wouldn't talk to us. Instead, we spoke to a woman who works with him. She was the one who'd handed the abortion pills to our undercover operative and taken the cash. She wouldn't tell us her name.
How old do they do the abortions up to? 8 months?
7.
7 months? Do you know that it's illegal? They shouldn't be doing that.
I don't know anything.
Have you? But I know. Have you been helping with these women? Do you talk to the women?
Yes, I ask them questions.
So you ask them questions. What kind of questions do you ask them?
Like, why are they doing abortion?
Why are they doing abortion? So you try to counsel them?
Yeah.
Okay. And how old are these women that come to you?
Some of them old women. Some they're kids.
Some of them are kids, like 16, 17?
17.
Yeah. And do you have any of them died from this?
No.
And remember, that's all groups. We are finding that young teenagers from right across the social spectrum are having an abortion.
And who does the cleaning?
He does the cleaning. After it came out, then he cleans you.
She said the cleaning happened in a room behind Dr. Kasi's office, but the door was locked. The windows were boarded up, and we found a bucket and a mop outside the door.
This is all part of the operation, this little labyrinth of doors, but they all seem to be locked. Goodness knows what's going on behind there.
Flora from Mari Stopes believes women are often at the mercy of backstreet butchers because of hostility at public healthcare facilities.
I think it's also a lack of knowledge women are not aware out there that there are areas whereby they can access it. Even in government, some women say they are not aware that government is offering this, and they are free termination of pregnancies, because termination of pregnancy is still sort of a taboo. Yeah, so people are not just open about it. So they will just, it's a silent choice. They will just look around where they can get a quick fix.
I don't think that it is an issue that we should always be judgmental. We should be in a manner that we don't treat people with respect. I think we need to do that, because the reason why we exist is because we must serve these people.
We met a student outside Dr. Kasi's rooms. She said she was afraid to go to a public hospital. She didn't want us to show her face.
Public hospitals, they ask too many questions. Yeah, that's why.
And they shouted at you?
And they shouted at us, yeah.
The police say victims seldom come forward.
It's one type of a crime of its kind, where the victim approached the perpetrator to say, victimize me, and I'll pay you for that.
Dr. Victoria Mubaiwa from the KZN Health Department says they are training staff to be more compassionate.
One of the modules cover human rights, so that they're able to understand the issues, the reasons why women make those decisions and how they should be treated. We also cover values clarification, because we all have values, and sometimes you are tempted to impose your values on somebody else.
After the break.
Are you a real doctor, Dr. Kasi? Are you a real doctor? Do you have a license to dispense these pills? They're scheduled pills. There he goes, running down, doctor.
We find Dr. Kasi seemingly living it up.